For 5 years, I poured every spare dollar into paying off my parents' $680,000 mortgage. I worked double shifts while my younger brother Dylan coasted through college on a full ride he barely earned. Every school trip, every jacket, every ounce of attention went to him. I was the invisible child, the reliable one expected to figure everything out alone while they celebrated his mediocre achievements. When my father's auto shop failed, I found unopened bank letters in their kitchen. The house was weeks from foreclosure. Late fees had stacked up for months. I could have walked away. Instead, massive transfers left my account every month. My promotions, my raises, poured into saving their house. My father talked constantly about his sacrifice. I'm fighting every day to keep this family home standing, he'd tell relatives. My name never came up. My Uncle Edward insisted we sign a trust. If Riley's carrying this burden, it needs legal protection, he told my parents. My name appeared on those documents, not just for responsibility, but for control. When the final payment cleared after 5 years, I expected acknowledgement, maybe a dinner. Instead, my father called. No greeting. We're gifting the house to Dylan as his graduation present. My mouth went dry. Dad, I paid that mortgage for 5 years. Stop making everything about money. This is about his future, not your ego. And you're not invited to the party. I don't want your bitter attitude ruining his big day. He hung up. 3 days later, I showed up anyway. The house I'd saved was wrapped in string lights with Dylan's name on a banner. Inside, relatives congratulated him on his new home. My father stood by the fireplace, soaking in the attention. I held this house together through sheer will and sacrifice. Now I'm proud to give my son the foundation he deserves. Relatives clapped. My mother smiled. Dylan accepted praise like he'd earned it. No one mentioned my name. I turned to Uncle Edward and said, "You want to tell them, or should I?" He stepped forward as the room quieted. "Actually, Greg, there's a trust on this property. The one you signed when the bank was circling, and legally this house belongs to Riley." Eyes shifted toward me. The applause died. My father's face went red. "Edward, this is a family matter. It became a legal matter when Riley saved you from foreclosure." People started leaving. Within 30 minutes, half the guests were gone. I drove home with a useless key and crystal clear purpose. The next morning, I called attorney Patrick O'Neill. "Riley, the house legally cannot be transferred without your consent. You're the creditor who cleared the entire debt. You have more rights to this property than your parents do." That weekend, I filed to enforce the trust. The morning of Dylan's celebration party, city officials knocked. "We're here regarding this residence. The property is under legal review and cannot be transferred while an ownership dispute is active." My father's confidence cracked. Our neighbor Martha watched from her window. She'd never seen him look so small. An hour later, a tow truck arrived for Dylan's BMW, 3 months behind on payments. Early guests watched in silence as it was hauled away. Dylan stood on the lawn, speechless. I arrived with Patrick and Edward. Patrick set one folder down. "The trust will be enforced. You have 30 days to remove your belongings. The locks will be changed and law enforcement will escort you out if necessary." My father stared. "You can't do this. I'm your father." "Actually, she can. She paid for it. You signed documents giving her that right when you needed her money." My mother started crying. "Riley, please. This is our home." "It was, until you decided it was Dylan's. Now it's mine." My parents moved to a rental across town. Dylan found roommates who judged him by his work ethic. The complaints started within weeks. The house became mine, legally, finally, truly. Calls went unanswered. Messages painting me as cruel stayed on read. I told relatives who questioned me that I was done being judged by people who watched me disappear for years without saying a word. The turning point wasn't the officials arriving. It was when I stopped volunteering to be invisible so everyone else could stay comfortable.